Hi, Matt from Audio Workshop and welcome to Wireless Mics Part 4. So today we're going to talk about being frequency agile. And to start with, I thought I'd just refresh us with the user licenses where we are allowed to operate. Now this all had a major change back in 2013-2014 where our licenses actually changed. Once upon a time we were allowed to operate between 698 and about 800 megahertz, and then with the switch off of analog TV and the switch on of digital TV they did a bit of a reshuffle and gave us two new licenses, which since then have changed fractionally. So now we're allowed to operate between 510 megahertz and 606 megahertz, and then there's a second license between 622 megahertz and 698. Now they're the areas, or the two licenses, where we're allowed to operate, and it's a secondary user license. So the primary user that pay all the big bucks are digital TV stations, and we get a secondary user license where we can slot in to anywhere in those licenses and use it freely. So we want to talk about being frequency agile. With the complexity of that spectrum now and the increasing digital TV channels and the way digital TV takes up space in that spectrum, we need to be what's called frequency agile. So gone are probably the days where we're seeing single channel fixed frequency radio mic systems. But we are still seeing at the lower end of the market limited channel systems. So what we get with any receiver and transmitter is a bandwidth, and the bandwidth refers to how much space that it's able to operate on, and that dictates how many channels that system is going to be able to change between to find a clear frequency to operate, and also perhaps how many wireless microphone channels are going to work within that band given the manufacturer and the model. So we might have a 12 megahertz bandwidth, we might have a 24 megahertz bandwidth, and we might have a 30, a 60, a 70 megahertz bandwidth, and AKG's top digital wireless system at the moment on the market has the widest amount of bandwidth, which is about 150 megahertz, which if you can't find a free channel in that, there's something wrong. So my advice is, if you're looking to buy wireless microphones, make sure you can invest in something that's going to be frequency agile, because that's going to get you out of trouble. And that means that if you're finding that one particular channel is noisy and you're having issues and interference, then you can simply change channels and start again and find a channel that's clear to operate. Now unfortunately this does cost a little bit more money, and as you go up the tiers and the different manufacturers and models, the money that you're investing is buying more bandwidth in that receiver. Now there's more complexity that goes into that in terms of how the receiver and transmitter perform, and so you're having to invest in some more money to get that in your system. That's also going to dictate how many microphones you can use at any one time. For example, if you look at Shaw's SLX system, it's 24 megahertz, and that will give you up to 12 systems being able to operate at the same time, and that's environmentally dependent. But that gives you a rule of thumb. If we take AKG's WMS 470 systems, that can operate up to 16 channels. Now some of the systems will give you the ability to scan the environment, and it will automatically calculate the best frequency within its bandwidth to use. Or with the likes of some microphone systems, it will have a preset amount of channels, and you can select through the channels, test your system, make sure it's all good to go, and then move on to the next system and find another clear channel out of the presets. We're going to talk tomorrow about intermods or intermodulation products, which also affects the ability for these systems to do multiple channels at the same time. But for today I thought would give us a quick glimpse into being frequency agile, because with digital TV now and a much more cluttered spectrum that we're trying to operate on in the two licensed areas that we have, it's really important to have some channels up your sleeve. So thanks again for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow. Cheers.